I am not too sure where to begin today's video because just take a look at this tank. It's a complete mess, but it's fixable. We can fix this, and I'm not too worried about it. Let's take a closer look at what's going on in this tank so far. So this is the tank that I set up just almost a month ago. I set it up last month in December, and right now this is what it looks like. A complete disaster, really. Just take a look at all this algae growing up here. And over there too, look at that, all that tangled algae, that's crazy. But really, this is kind of normal to me, especially when you use 𝗲𝘂𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀 Amazonia soil. In the first month, it's common to get all these algae problems. And this time, I got more algae than what I'm usually used to because I planted very sparsely. If you look at the video where I planted this tank, there were lots of open gaps where I could have planted, but I didn't. And there's a reason to that. I wanted to try to plant less plants and try to control the growth of it, because with contest tanks, it's all about timing. You want to time when to take the perfect photo, as well as time like how fast these plants grow. So I'm just trying something new. And it's a really easy fix. You just keep up with your water changes, add some Amano shrimp, and very soon, once everything starts to balance out, it's gonna take care of itself. But I want to show you guys this. Look at all this algae right here. We're gonna clean it up in just a bit, and today we're also going to add shrimp into this tank. I've also added floating plants to try to help with it. This right here is a type of water sprite. It's a floating water sprite. You can't grow this underwater. And I've also got some frog bit growing here. So yeah, and the roots are also covered in algae, which is really nasty, but we're gonna fix it. So the first thing I'm going to do today is I'm going to try to get as much of this algae out. And I think this is a type of filamentous algae. I don't think it's the common hair algae that you usually see in your aquariums. This is the type of algae that you'll see growing in ponds, and even our rice fish ponds get this kind of algae during the summer. But I'm going to try to clean as much of it up. I'm going to clean the lily pipes as well because I haven't cleaned that yet since setting this tank up. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to add some shrimp in here. So yeah, let's try to make this tank look good.
Oh, we're living in the present, but our mind is in the past. Not knowing what we lose, don't know what will last. Yeah, the things you always dare to dream, oh, are not always what they seem. Close to toe.
Take a look at how much better this tank is looking. It's still not perfect. We've got a lot of algae growing on the plants as well as on the hardscape, but it looks so much better compared to before. Now we've just gotta move on to step 2 in removing all this algae, and that is by adding some Amano shrimp. And we're going to add quite a lot of them into this tank because it's a pretty large tank. We need a big cleanup crew here. Before I add those Amano shrimp, there's still another reason why I got so much algae this time. Well, 2 reasons actually. The first reason is because my CO2 just hasn't been working properly. You can see I've got the CO2 diffuser right there. It's covered in algae, but it should still be producing bubbles. But it's been going on and off for since I set it up, really. And you can see right now the bubble counter is going really slow, but sometimes it's going super fast, and I'm not so sure why. I don't know if there's something wrong with the regulator, the CO2 regulator, or if it's just that my CO2 tubing is like too long and too messy and I gotta clean it up or something. I'm not sure, so I'm gonna make sure to go and fix that up because the CO2 should be running right now. And now the second reason why I think I've got so much algae this time is because of the lights. I've got them on powered too strong, and these plants don't require such bright lights, and I think that's why my Vallisneria that's in the back isn't growing so tall. They're staying short because the lights are just so strong. So I'm going to have to power them down, and I'll probably turn them off for 2 or 3 days to help with this algae. Perfect. So I'm currently just drip acclimating my Amano shrimp because the tank that they were in is slightly colder, so I want them to get used to the conditions of this tank. But there's about 30 of them in there right now. I just took them out from that tank over there. And there's still quite a few more in this tank. I've got to say at least 20 more shrimp in this tank, but it's impossible to take them all out unless I take all these plants out, and I don't really want to do that right now. But you can just see, like down there, there's an Amano shrimp. Yeah, there's a ton of them. So it's been about 2 weeks since that last clip. I've added more Amano shrimp into this tank as I said I would do, and they've been doing work as they usually do, but I haven't been working on this tank as I should, as I usually would do. I've been slacking with this, so it's just a real mess. I'm battling algae right now. Yesterday I gave this tank a huge trim on the foreground. All this tendinous right here, you can see all these bald spots. That's normal. It's gonna definitely grow back. I could have trimmed it up even more, but I was a bit scared. And I wanted to trim the 𝗲𝘾𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀 in the back too, but I think I'll hold that off for the next trimming session because I don't want to like trim everything and get the balance out of whack, because that's not good either. So yeah, we'll take it one step at a time. Hopefully we've got enough time for this year's contest. You can see this long plant right here with the thin leaves. This is 𝗲𝘾𝗀𝘀𝗶𝗿𝗲𝘀. I think that's how you say it, but really cool plant. I'm really hoping the 𝗲𝘾𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀 in the back grows taller. I'm not so sure why they're staying short. I don't think it's a nutrient deficiency. I think it's the light. Maybe the lights are a bit too powerful, so I actually have lowered the lights. They're set to 50% right now, 50%, so it's only like half the brightness. So yeah, hopefully that gets them to grow taller. Maybe I just need to trim it down once and then they'll start growing longer leaves, but I'm not sure. The Echinodorus in the back looking really nice. The 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀, you can see still some algae back there. Algae everywhere actually, so it's gonna take some time to get rid of all this stuff, but I think we can do it. And you can see my CO2 diffuser right there. And this, I bought this new toy just to like kind of motivate me. Well, first of all, as a 100,000 subscriber gift to me, kind of, and also to motivate me with this tank more, because I don't know, I'm just, yeah, I've been really slacking. Maybe if I get the fish in here, I'll be even more motivated to keep up, but yeah, it's a cool little toy. I want to do a quick brief tour of this fish room, what it looks like right now, because I'm currently filming this towards the end of February of 2022, and this video I plan to release maybe in September of this year, so the fish room should have changed quite a bit. A lot of plans for this year. So let's start off. You guys have seen this already, the 4-foot 120 cm tank that I'm planning to enter for this year's contest. I wonder what kind of results I'm gonna get this year. Next to that, we've got the 𝗲𝘃𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀 tank. The tank, what I call the 𝗲𝘃𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 jungle, or the crypt jungle. We're going to have mostly crypts in this tank. Well, we have mostly crypts in this tank, but I just have to plant them. I still have a bunch of them in their pots, and I don't know, as I said, I've been slacking, so I really gotta get to work. But so I plan to do this right after this video. So the video I'm making now, right after that, I'm going to get to work on this tank, and we're going to add some fish into in here. So it's gonna look really different. I've got a bunch of plants just floating around in here, and I've got duckweed. That sucks. I hate duckweed, and well, I didn't hate it until now because I never had this problem. So yeah, not really happy with that. Hopefully I can get rid of it. We've got 2 Endler's live bearers in here at the moment, but yeah, we're gonna have a bunch more fish in this tank, and a bunch of plants are also gonna get out of this tank. And next up, we'll take a look at this side, the middle section of the fish room. We've got the 60 centimeter tank. It's just about 1 month old now, I think, and I'm not so sure why the CO2 isn't running. It should be running. I've got to check. We should have a full tank of CO2, so I'm not so sure why, but I'll go and check on that. But you can see the pink flamingo cribs. This tank should look completely different by September. I think it should be like fully grown in, and the cribs should look amazing, so I can't wait for that. And right here we've got an empty tank, and this one I'm planning to do an 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝘀𝗀. I'm not entirely sure yet, but I'm hoping to do an 𝗂𝘂𝘀𝗀𝘀𝗀 right here with DIY CO2. And then right here I hope to have another one, the same size tank as this. That tank actually. Currently it's got a bunch of rainbow fish in there, but we're going to take that tank, clean it up, put it right here. It's the exact same size as this, and we're going to have another aquascape. So this right here is like the mini aquascape gallery. 3 tanks lined up, and they're all going to be planted, so it's going to be quite fun. Right here we've got this rack, currently just like, I'm not so sure what I'm doing with this. So yeah, just a bunch of planning that needs to happen and stuff to be done. So right here is a newly installed sink. I just got this a few weeks ago, and it's been so good to have. I really love this thing. Water, I can clean stuff up. I can do my brine shrimp right here. We've got hot water to do water changes during the winter, so I am really loving having this sink right here. And over here we've got the 3-foot tanks stacked up. I'm planning to have another 2 over here. And then up above we've got the 3-foot shallow tank. So you can see I've got all my pleco caves here, thanks to Pleco Ceramics. Probably one of the best pleco cave makers as well as pleco food makers out there. So if you don't know Pleco Ceramics, go check out their Instagram. And down here we've got the angelfish. I've got to start moving these guys because they are getting aggressive, and you can see some at the back. They're just hiding back there, and some of them haven't been eating for a couple of days, so yeah, these guys are just too aggressive, so we're gonna have to move them out very soon. And then we've got this section, very messy. Just a bunch of work that needs to be done. Hopefully I can get to work on this section this year. Well, planning to. So yeah, it should look completely different. I hope you guys are subscribed because a lot of changes are coming to this fish room this year. As always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments down below, what fish would you add into this tank? I really like this angle. This angle with the driftwood just sticking out there. It's super cool, but what fish do you think would match this tank? I'm going to add fish. The next video to this series is going to be adding fish in here, so let me know what you would add in, and I'll see you guys next time.